Good evening and welcome to the Coon Rapids City Council meeting for Tuesday, July 17th. If you could please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I thought, what is my phone buzzing or what is that? All kinds of things going on. First on our agenda this evening is to call the roll.
Councilmember Griscovia.
Here.
Councilmember Kicker.
Here.
Councilmember Demmer. Councilmember Geisler.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Wells.
Here.
And Mayor Cook.
Here. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is to adopt this evening's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Kicker to adopt the agenda. Any changes? Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the agenda is adopted. And our item one is to, Coon Rapids Fire Department is to present the Fill the Boot check to MDA. Chief John Piper.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, I'm very happy to be here tonight.
You're-
Stand back a little bit.
Apparently so is the sound system.
I'm happy to be here tonight to tell you about an event we conducted here the last week of June for 3 days. Coon Rapids firefighters were on the intersection of Main Street and Northdale to fill the boot for muscular dystrophy. And the firefighters were out there for a couple hours each lunch hour and 4 hours in the evening and raised a substantial amount of money. 100% of that money, of course, goes to muscular dystrophy. I'm extremely proud of the firefighters that were out there, and I'm grateful to all the citizens and motorists that came by and donated to the cause. Special thanks to Pat Metz, who organized this whole thing and does this every year for us, along with participating in the event they have out on the west side of the metro where they have a camp for the muscular dystrophy people that are participating. So he puts a lot of effort to it, and I'd like to thank Pat for that. And with that said, Pat will come up and do the presentation. All of it.
There you go.
Thank you. I'll start by introducing Anya Moran from Muscular Dystrophy Association. And following up what John said, I'd like to thank all my fellow firefighters that were helped out with the cause. I'd like to thank John and our Assistant Chief Aaron. They spent time on the corner and for their support of the program. And then mostly I want to thank all the generous citizens that donated. So we, in 3 days, we raised $26,780. And so I'd like to present this to Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of all of the families that I represent. I'm here on behalf of thousands of families across Minnesota, as well as the Dakotas and western Wisconsin. It's pretty incredible what the Coon Rapids Fire Department does here, especially because we don't have full participation from a lot of other departments. So to see Chief, you out on the street filling the boot, as well as the Assistant Chief and all of the paid on-call firefighters, as well as the full-time, it's incredible. I know that the community looks forward to it every year just as much as our organization does, and our families are just so incredibly grateful for you guys and your support. So thank you.
Your Honor, we got another $180 from what our memo says.
Oh, is that right? All right, that is awesome. I love how they do that up on Main Street. And I remember how the chief had to explain that they really had to broadcast that we're raising money for MDA. We're not raising money for new fire equipment. Yeah. All right, next on our agenda is item 2, approval of the minutes from the July 3rd meeting.
Your Honor, I make
Councilmember
a motion
Kicker.
that we approve the minutes of the July 3rd, 2018 meeting. Second.
Motion by Kicker, second by Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
One abstention.
That motion carries with one abstention, Councilmember Kraskowiak. Next, we're on to our consent agenda. We have 2 items on that. The first is to approve a joint powers agreement with Anoka Ramsey Community College for the security contract. The Coon Rapids Police Department provides evening security patrols and student escort services to Anoka Ramsey Community College through the part-time employment of police reserve officers. This is accomplished utilizing a joint powers agreement between the city and the state of Minnesota. And the JPA between the city and the state of Minnesota is reviewed and renewed each year, roughly following the state's fiscal calendar and a typical school year. The current contract expired on June 30th, 2018. The new contract reflects a 3% increase in the hourly rate charged for the reserve officer and a vehicle. The total contract amount not to exceed $30,000, and the new contract would be effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. So with this, we will be authorizing the mayor and the city manager to enter into a joint powers agreement with the state of Minnesota and Anoka Ramsey Community College to provide security services for year 2018-2019. Next item on our agenda is to approve the final payment for project 14-26 Boulevard Park Development. And this is to City Builders, and the contract amount was $718,482.50. There were $25,000 in additions. Let's see, previous payments, amount due, amount over final contract was $23,578. So with this, we will be approving, we'll be approving change orders and final payment to Custom Builders Incorporated in the amount of $146,646.91 for project 14-26 Boulevard Park Development. That's all
Mr.
I
Mayor?
got. Councilmember Geisler.
I would move the consent agenda with one question. Should we update that to be Boulevard Plaza or instead of Boulevard Park? Or is it?
Mr.
what the-
Stemwedel,
was
I
the-
was questioning that while I was reading it, and I thought, well, maybe this little piece of it is Boulevard Park then.
Here, also, and Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the project 1426, I think, has always been called Boulevard Park Development.
Okay.
That's why, to be consistent, that's why it would remain that way, but correct, the actual parking lot is called Boulevard
Okay,
Plaza.
so it's Boulevard Park Development for Boulevard Plaza. There we go.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Kicker. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and that motion carries. We are up to new business and planning case 18-9, final plat Lone Ridge. Consider resolution 18-81 for the final plat approval. The applicant is requesting final plat approval for Lone Ridge to subdivide 5.94 acres into 6 single-family lots. On July 3rd, the council approved the preliminary plat, and the proposed final plat is consistent with the approved preliminary plat. And this is that area right off of Main Street, 125th and Shenandoah Boulevard there. So does council need to see anything else on this, or otherwise we'd be looking for a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilmember Kicker?
I'll make a motion that in planning case 18-9, the council approve resolution 18-81 granting final plot approval for Lone Ridge with the following conditions. 1, compliance with the city code, Title 11. 2, all engineering comments be addressed. 3, park dedication requirement is met with the dedication of the proposed 20,045 square feet at the north end of the plat. 4, 1 street tree is required per lot. The corner lot requires 2 trees, 1 in each street frontage. The trees must be a minimum caliper of 2.5 inches. And then 5, the applicant provide funds to cover the cost of trail construction in the amount approved by the engineering department.
Second.
Motion by Kicker, second by Wells. Discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember Kraskowiak?
I'd just like to ask a clarification or a question on condition number 5, the trail access. That's not noted on the plot. Is that going to somehow connect potentially into Bison Creek?
Yeah, Mayor and Councilmember Skoviak. What that does, it provides 20,000 square feet as parkland. Somewhere within that parcel, the trail will go through. The exact location hasn't been determined yet.
Okay.
And it will connect Shenandoah Boulevard to the parkland to the west.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 6 is to consider easement agreements for project 17-19 sidewalk expansion. And on July 3rd, the council awarded a contract to Tyzac Concrete for sidewalk expansion along Coon Rapids Boulevard and portions of Dogwood Street on 115th Avenue, adjacent to Northdale Middle School. And at this time, we're looking to approve easement agreements with the property owners adjacent to the project. And there are 7 of them. And I will spare the rest of the details. It looks like Mr. Brody had his work cut out for him, though, drafting all these, or somebody there. Does council need any more information on this one, or let's see?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I'll make a
Councilmember
motion to
Geisler.
accept the temporary and permanent easements detailed in our staff report and authorize the execution of the agreements between the city and landowners of the properties listed.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Johnson. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I think it's going to be great to have more connections and places where you can actually get from one place to another and have an actual sidewalk and trail there, so,
Yeah.
great.
All right. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 7, again reminding us how expensive everything in a commercial kitchen is. Consider resolution 18-82, amending the budget for the golf course restaurant. And we're looking at purchasing a combination oven and skillet braising pan at the golf course. The estimated cost to replace them will be $62,420, which includes sales tax and will be amortized over 5 years. The combination oven will replace a failing steam oven with 2 ovens, 1 steam and another dry heat, and slightly, a lot of stuff. So we're looking at authorizing the, we're looking at adjusting the budget by $62,420. Does anybody need to know exactly what we're buying or more information on this?
Tour of the oven.
I don't think I want a tour of the oven.
It's a $62,000 oven.
It does sound like a walk-in.
It's big.
Was that a motion, Councilmember Johnson?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Johnson, second by Wells, to authorize Resolution 18-82, amending the 2018 golf budget for the purchase of a combination oven and skillet braising pan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
Still want a tour.
And then item 8 is to consider Resolution 18-83, amending the Facility Construction Fund budget. And we're looking at a budgeted amount of $25,000 for a rooftop unit at the Public Works that failed and needs to be replaced, and the 2018 budget does not include funds for this purchase. Rooftop, I assume, what, air conditioning unit? Because capital outlay purchases must specifically be identified and funded per City Code 2-803. We're looking at amending the budget in the Facility Construction Fund to purchase the rooftop unit, and a vote of at least 4 members of the council is required to amend the budget.
Your Honor.
Councilmember Johnson.
I'll move adoption of Resolution 18-83, amending the 2018 Facilities Construction Fund for that purpose.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Wells. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. And we are up to the open mic public comment portion of the meeting. Is anybody here to address council for open mic this evening? Are you, sir? Well, absolutely, of course. So open mic provides an opportunity for the public to address the city council on subjects that are not part of the regular meeting agenda. The public is invited to express any concerns they may have which are relevant to the affairs, policies, or practices of the city of Coon Rapids, and remarks will be limited to 3 minutes. If you could provide your name and address, sir, and then you
My name is Bob Steinbrook. I live at 1227 129th Avenue, Northwest, Wexford Edition, Coon Rapids.
All right, yes, sir.
9 years ago, we moved back from Missouri after 12 years down there to Coon Rapids. We were familiar with the area. We thought it was a good place. We still do. But after we moved here, shortly after we moved here, a very enterprising young couple across the street, successful businessman, told me he was moving to Andover. And I said, why? He said, well, the city doesn't really have it. He says they don't pay attention to complaints. There's issues that they don't address. And he says, it's just the school system's not good. So everybody got a whammy from this guy. But they moved, and I didn't think too much of it. But recently, I thought, you know, I'm old and I'm retired. I'm argumentative, and I'm a Republican. So everybody's going to suffer a little bit when I start to complain. But nobody's listening. Now, I've complained to everybody except my councilman. And I figured, what the heck? If I can annoy 17 people at the time I would annoy one, I'll do it. 3 things. You're not going to do anything about this, and it's a really pain in the butt complaint. The surfacing in the streets, 2 years old, 3 years old, I don't know when it was done. It's been a while ago. That's 2 weeks of sweeping my driveway. The stuff that's still coming off the street.
Like the seal coating gravel stuff?
That's some kind of a material they use. Not the biggest deal. Second thing is, I'm wondering what happens if somebody parks a commercial trailer on a city street night after night after night, weekends, to the point where it's a little bit of a safety hazard. And how does someone run a auto repair out of their garage and nothing is done about it? I called the city hall, and some lady told me, oh, we've had all kinds of complaints from the neighbors about that location. I said, well, what's done about it? Well, I've been there, she said, but I haven't found anything wrong. I said, my God, when were you there? She says, well, I quit work at 4:30. I said, you only work until 4:30, even with an open complaint like this, you're not going to do anything. No. She said, I work till 4:30, I don't work weekends or holidays. I said, that's fine. I said, what do I do about it? What do the neighbors do about it? Well, you go there when he is doing this stuff, which is most nights and most weekends, and you take pictures of it, and then you call the police. And I said, really? Call the police with the city annoyance here? That one upset me. So maybe this guy from Andover had an idea about what he was talking about. But somebody needs to pay some attention to some of this stuff. And I'd appreciate it if they would. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll take care of the seal coating. Yep. You jar. Okay, that was my guess. Yes, sir.
Evening, Council.
You can set that on the floor next and get it out of your camera view.
Got it. It's quite heavy. You just pulled that off this evening? All right, anyway, thank you for the mirror. Anthony Wilder, I did want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak in front of you this evening. Mayor Cook, Councilman, run for state representative. I did so in 2016 as well. I am trying to keep my name fairly fresh, but at the same time, you know, I hear too many conversations like this, just like the gentleman right before you, right before me here, and just want to make sure that you guys are listening. And I've seen all you guys very attentive, so I appreciate the hard work that you did tonight for this gentleman. Hopefully that you take in consideration all of his complaints, because I hear them as well, and I'm sure you do as well. So staff, maybe also reach out to them. The phone call is kind of alarming. Hopefully it was to you as well. It's not really great advice to give to someone who has that the enough courage to kind of reach out to you. So hopefully you guys are listening. But for me, right where I grew up truly, about 10 minutes from where I'm standing. And so this is pretty neat to be in this position. I've had the opportunity to see our communities grow. Myself, my current involvement with this city of Coon Rapids is that I do chair the Coon Creek watershed. I have for the last 2 years. Just serving the third year of my 3-year term. Something I've been maybe accustomed to for the last 25 years. So I've seen so much of our communities grow. I look forward to the project with Sand Creek that our staff has put a lot of time and effort into to raising the funds so that we have a beautiful park to walk through. So hopefully in the growing months and you guys get to see and reap all the benefits from that. I do want to leave a little bit of room for a little bit of involvement, maybe questions from the council. I think that working together, is something that I'm obviously striving for. I've worked really hard these last 3 years, and I have every expectation to reach that goal come November and earn that spot like you have here. So I do want to leave that open for you. I do have certain concerns, myself, but I'd rather take this time to focus on where we're blessed most. With our Coon Rapids Dam, most don't know how that's open year round, and how the trail systems, the hiking, the camping, the picnics. I mean, we're so fortunate to have that. And then on the other side of our town, having the Bunker Hills, and all the recreational sites there. So we have a beautiful city. You guys are doing an amazing job. I do want to commend you on the 4th and all the festivities, the parade. A lot of hard work put into it, and it was very evident. So I do want to just end with that, but at the same time, I'll reach out to you in my own time in regards to some of the concerns that I've been hearing as well, and hopefully that you'll recognize my name and maybe reach back at me. So my schedule is busy like yours, but I do want to welcome any questions that you might have as a candidate.
Andy? If
Anthony.
I just get a clarification.
Yeah.
What is your address? Did you mention that?
Oh, I didn't. I'm in Spring Lake Park. It's 1082nd Avenue Northeast, and that's in Spring Lake Park. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Johnson?
So we've both served on the Coon Creek Watershed District, and I've served in the past, and you're on it now, Mr. Wilder. City of Coon Rapids has worked in the past with the Watershed District about locating its headquarters in the Elflin Park next to the old clay hole, and I'm wondering where things stand with that with the Watershed District now.
Right. I thank you for the question, Councilman Johnson, but it's truly ongoing. We have just straight struggles working with our county. We had certain envisionments. We've taken so many standards and just our conversations, and just now we're expressed, our administration and our staff is just, hey, listen, we've had now turnover 3 times since this talk about relocating and finding a true home, and who's suffering right now is just truly the staff. We're truly burdened from the state end, and we're to the max of all the work, the capacity that we can do. We'll continue to do our hard work, but at the same time, our commitment is to finding a new home. That's not out of the question whatsoever, but it's still finding that happy medium and of understanding, from the county where we can move forward. Funds are always at the tip of every conversation, and we want to make sure that we're doing our best, our due diligence, but at the same time expediting it. It's time, as you mentioned earlier, that you served. I'm sure that you've had those conversations as well, and it's just about time that we find that home. So, but I do thank you for all the hard work that has been put into it.
So one of the things that was important in that process early on was sharing some resources and getting the city to work closer together with the Watershed District. And so I'm sure city staff would be open to assisting the Watershed District with those plans.
Thank you.
And moving it forward if that's something the Watershed District continues to be interested in.
It certainly is. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for the time.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wilder. All right, anybody else for open mic? Intern Matt? No? Okay. All right, we are on to, we don't have any reports on previous open mics. We are on to other business. And I have a question The Hanson Bridge project, I'll have another question for him, but the Hanson Bridge project, it looks terrible. I know it's a construction zone, but we still have all of the cars driving down there every day, people using the sidewalk, people using the bus, and the weeds are all like 2 feet tall everywhere. Is there anything that can be done to kind of clean that up a little bit? It looks just terrible. And this is a 2-year project there now. So, all right.
Sound familiar? Just something that I was saying a few years ago on Foley, so.
All right. Other business, next Tuesday night, or what, Alder Park?
Correct.
So July 24th, the city meeting in the park and Alder Park, which is over like 102nd between University and Foley, right? That sounds about right.
And
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we've got the summer concert series on Thursday, so 2 days, which is Good Foot Express. That's at the Coon Rapids Dam. And of course, we still have every Wednesday, the farmer's market. Those things going on?
3 to 6, right? Farmers Market, 3 to 6? Okay. All right.
Those are the big ones.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, 50 look good up there?
Mayor, Council, thank you. Yes, the 50th anniversary of Bunker Hills was a lot of fun. A lot of folks came out and shared memories and had a good time getting some golf instruction and just kind of talking about the facilities. So it was very enjoyable, and we're on to the rest of our 51st season, which is very exciting too. In fact, this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Minnesota State Open will be contested, which we're very excited about. That is the state and beyond's best golfers converge at Bunker Hills for the annual championship. So if anybody's interested, it's complimentary. Come on out and watch some great golf.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Anything else, Council? Any other business? Mr. Stemwell? Really? Nice. All right. So you want to get us out of here? All right. Motion by Geisler. Second by Kicker to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we're adjourned.